In my last tools of the trade, we were talking about using the lie machine, and one of the comments was, hey, how about you show us how to use it? Okay, fair enough. Welcome back to the McGolf shop, and we're going to do a real quick, this is how you bend an iron. All right, you normally don't hear anything about woods anymore because the crown is so thin that it can't take the force of just putting in a clamp and going. So there are some that are bendable, typically the ones that do not have a adjustable tip, okay, because if you take the tips out, you can see they just look like jagged edges all the way around the top, and that's pretty much not going to bend. However, the ones that do not have those in there, if you have what's called a clamshell, and basically it goes over top and below the club, and it sits in a clamp, then you can get away with doing it because that provides that support. Typically, I would say 99.9%, these are only held with the OEMs because they're the ones interested in bending them like that. Fairway woods and hybrids, on the other hand, are a totally different category. In a lot of cases, again, if they do not have an adjustable hosel on them, then you can really kind of see whether or not you can bend it. Again, in the designs, if you see where the cap is not metal, i.e. a carbon fiber or something incredibly thin, I would stay away from it. However, on hybrids, they don't normally worry about that so much and can handle being in one of these. This rig can do hybrids and fairway woods. Typically, I stay away from fairway woods, but I do a lot of hybrids as long as they're not adjustables. So that brings us back into the irons. All right, what we have here is a C300 forged from Wilson. And don't let the forged name fool you because it does have the power slots in some of the irons, not all, but some of the irons. And in order to have those things, to let the face flex, they've had to strengthen it up somewhere. So I don't think that this is a 100% forged club, but I could be wrong, and we are going to find out. So I have my trusty assistant here with me, going to call out what the lofts and lies are to be.
I'm ready.
All right. And
start with 6.
Yep.
29.
And
61 and a half, and that's what he needs to be.
All right, 29, 61 and a half. The 61 and a half came from the fitting that we determined that was the length that, or the lie angle that he needed at the 6, right? Did the 5 was 61 then?
Yes.
Okay, so 61 and a half and 29. So we're going to measure it on here, and then we're going to see if we need to bend it. Now what I do is I make sure my lines are even with the top end of this, and then the other giveaway to tell you whether or not you're right on is when you slide this in, that this is touching this. So I have, huh?
And you need to be a 62.
Aha, that's what I thought. So I'm 61 and a half and I am 28. So we got to go up and we got to go strong. So I make sure that the clamp is in there, and I know that what I'm being asked is, how does this bend? Well, this is, unfortunately, this is one of those things that becomes feel. All right, you're going to be able to feel the metal give, and sometimes it springs back, sometimes it doesn't, but you're going to feel it move, okay? And you can do compound bends, which means if I wanted to go strong and up, I could go here, but for the sake of the video, we're going to do it one at a time. So I need to go up a half a degree. I always put one here and one here. That's from the mechanic days, and we're trying to apply torque. I just don't want to lift it all up here and I don't feel the movement. This helps me with feel and an adjustment. So I get underneath of it. And since it was only a half a degree, it really wasn't too much. Make sure it didn't move in the jig. And I got 62. All right, well, let's do another check here. Yep, there we go. Now we need 29. So if I want to make it weaker, I have to bend the hosel this way in order to get it. And I only have to go a little bit. There we go. Do another check. Now on this one, I have to loosen everything up to make sure it's all good. 62 and 29. And just so you can see it, 29. So there you go. So in a nutshell, that's what you do. I mean, normally these things that you're doing, you're not going to be doing 3 and 4 degree increments. It should only be half, 1, 2 tops, right? Somebody comes in, they want 4 strong, something else is going on. But both hands, and you want a nice heavy bending bar so that it helps exert that force for you. And you can use your legs. If it's a small one, you can use your arms. And it's all about feel. So if you got any more questions, just put them down in the show notes and we'll go over it. And if you liked it, oh, there it is again. No, just kidding. And if you liked it, like it please, and subscribe, and we'll talk more about tools of the trade. And let's see your scores. Go low. There's an outtake.
I'm laughing at you.
Yeah, and they can hear you.
It's all right.
All right.
You can hear me, just not see me.
Enough.
You going outside?
All right, put the DDD. Here we go. And no DDD. Oh yeah, whatever.